nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here.
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back. They snatched that chain, boy. Get back. What's all going to do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back. We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome on into the Big Factory here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. A little afternoon edition, if you will, of the Big Factor. Had some other shows we had to record. Had to move. No big deal. We're doing this as the Guardians are taking on the Reds for the second game after getting blanked by Abbott. Goes 9 innings. Slade Ciccone looks pretty damn good, but listen, you're not going to you're not going to win any games by scoring 0 runs. That's just simple math. Fellas, how are we doing on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday, June 11th, and it is sunny and 79 out.
This is a good little era change of the Big Factor. Sometimes you need a little day to break things up or move things around. You got the afternoon show. How many times have you ever done the Big Factor with lunch in your stomach? I think I've done it 0 times before. So we've either recorded at 11 p.m. or 10 a.m. So it's just a nice little midday break.
Yeah, this is definitely different for us in terms of timing. I will say I think the fine people over at Google have given up on the Cleveland Guardians as when I'm on I like to only have my computer and my phone, one or the other, up while we're live hosting the show. So I have my computer up right now and I just typed in Guardians score. You could keep up with it just right on Google in your browser, and it is giving me Friday, June 13th at 10 p.m. is the Guardians' next game. So Google already waving the white flag on the Guardians versus the Reds today over at Progressive Field.
I do have some live eyes on it, guys. They have a shot of the broadcast booth right now. One thing I would suggest, Matt Underwood, not sure if you got an ear on the Big Factor right now in the booth, but upgrade that polo one more size. It's a little bit too tight on my guy.
What if he's been working out and he wants to show
he is, but he's got to let it breathe a little bit.
He's yoked up.
Yeah, he's yoked up. Jack, we also we'll go through our poll. We threw out our first poll, the Big Factor.
We did, yeah.
Well, I haven't checked the results on that. We threw that out
a
couple hours ago, basically seeing how everybody's feeling about the Cleveland Guardians. We'll get there. But first, we talk about the Cleveland Browns. They began their mandatory minicamp. This, of course, is a latter portion before you had your involuntary minicamp. The scuttlebutt was Miles didn't show up. Before they had rookie minicamp. This is the last phase of their offseason before really we get to, in late July, real training camp, and that's when things start to get interesting. But we got to take from what we have, guys. Quarterbacks, we see the stats; those go viral.
Dude,
Do they really
can
matter?
I just say, last year there was an Eagles reporter who put these quarterback stats out there in minicamp, and that guy got clowned by the national NFL media, Philly fans. That was when the Browns and the Eagles had their joint practices, so Browns fans were dumping on this guy. When it was Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett was in that quarterback tracker as well. Why are we doing this, man?
No, because there's no point in doing that for the Eagles. There's really there's at least there's a baby point.
They don't got Shador.
They have a Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, but
no point in doing it.
But
here.
when you have to Google the name of the wide receiver who catches the deep ball from Shedeur Sanders you see on Twitter, those stats shouldn't be put on a graphic.
Listen, there's no pass rush. There's no real danger to these quarterbacks.
They're installing stuff right now.
It's 7s on 7s.
The game ain't even downloaded.
It's 11 on 11s. Of course, quarterbacks are going to shine throughout these. They got drafted for a reason because they have those tangibles. Now it comes to see whether they can handle a pass rush. They can get through their progressions in a minimum amount of time.
It's embarrassing that we're even
of
putting
that.
this out there. It really is.
Well, Kenny Pickett remains, I guess, if you want to say remains,
Flacco.
first in line. He was first in warm-up lines, first in late practice red zone drills. Gabriel was first for the first 11 on 11s. And again, Shedeur Sanders, kind of the same thing, not really getting any work with those ones. Now, whether that's a strategy by the Browns to not have him throw with the ones when the media is in attendance, we don't know otherwise, but it looks as though it's the same. Pickett first in line. Gabriel obviously gets ahead of Shedeur, and Shedor's bottom of the barrel, at least for right now. And Joe Flacco didn't take any reps in competitive drills. I'm not sure that's something we could read into. He's going into his 1,000,000th year. He's 40 years old and above. He knows what he's doing. This isn't something that is new to Joe Flacco.
It's kind of weird. I know they don't just swaddle guys in the NFL to make them feel good about themselves, but I wonder outside of development how much of Shedeur Sanders not taking any reps with the first teamers is a bit of a confidence boost for him, because I don't know, maybe they think hey, this guy thought he was going second overall. I think Shedeur thought he was going second overall. He ends up going in the 5th round. Maybe that's a huge hit for some guys, and giving him a couple of extra reps with these younger kids looking dominant, throwing up their wrists up again. Maybe it's good for him to just sit away, because like you said earlier, Nick, they're still installing stuff. Kevin Stefanski talked about it. nothing that's happening right now like matters in terms of who's going to win the quarterback battle.
Well, Shedeur Sanders spoke on that actually. He said, quote, "I look at it as a plus. I've got time to actually be able to really have a great understanding of things. And whenever it is time for me to play, then it's time for me to play. I'm not looking too far into the future about all that. I'm looking at every day in practice. I've had some misses out there. We've got to go in there and correct reads, getting in and out of drops a little bit faster from under center." So he's not letting that phase him in the slightest, as we all have seen throughout his career. Doesn't appear as anything really phases that young man.
I like the getting him the extra reps deal. He's over there. They say a lot of times by himself on that second field. So that means in that case he's getting all the reps and he's getting as much as he needs to mess up and kind of experiment as much as he can. Granted, it's not high level NFL talent or possibly even NFL talent at all, but at least he's working on the system. But I do think at some point, if we are taking him serious as an organization, and that's only something they could know from inside their walls and inside behind those doors, you're going to have to start playing them against other NFL players and with NFL players at some point.
And Rob, to that point, if this is truly an honest quarterback competition, and we're talking about week 1, who gives the Browns the best chance to win week 1, and OTAs, minicamp, training camp is about answering that question, then yeah, Shedeur should have equal opportunities as Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel to work with the ones, because that's literal science. You're removing outside variables to see what Shedeur looks like with the same surroundings as Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. So if this is honest, Shedeur Sanders should be getting first team reps. I kind of right now don't really understand why he's not. I would be surprised if he's the week 1 starter, but he should be getting a fair chance at becoming a week 1 starter. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask for here.
A little bit of that control, a little Y equals MX plus B, change some of them out. Same thing.
Do you not think politics are involved in it at all in a way? Like, I think they're just off optics, and I obviously things can change. Like, if one guy clearly develops way faster, more rapidly than another guy, I get that. But I think there's little to no chance he goes on the field before Dylan Gabriel, just based off where they were drafted, just like the eye view of it.
And that's flawed. I mean, you're
I'm
probably
not saying
wrong.
it should be, but I think it's what they might do.
We are a flawed organization.
We're a jaded, flawed,
if you're telling me
effed
it's
up organization.
The optics that we picked this dude, we could have picked him where he was supposed to be, and then we picked him all the way, and then we panic picked the QB. I'm sure some people are a little iffy to put him out there and see that maybe he's the best quarterback that we have on the roster.
Yeah, the one thing that I continue to feel really confident about, especially talking to people that are out there at OTAs and mandatory camp, and I'm going to get out there myself for training camp, but the one thing that I feel really good about is I do think that they're going to see both these dudes on the field like sooner than what fans might think. Same with Pickett. Like they're going to let the young quarterbacks play this year. I just have to believe that that's why we're seeing so much Dylan Gabriel. Even that's why the volume of Shedeur reps, even though they're against fourth stringers, like he's getting a ton of snaps at practice every day because they're in the Browns' own way. They're getting these guys ready to go, to be on the field, to be able to shoulder the weight of an actual NFL offense in a regular season game.
Well, I hope nobody is already tired of talking about quarterback battles for our Cleveland Browns, because that's going to be going on for months to come. In other news, in minicamp, Myles Garrett, he returns to camp now that we're in the mandatory portion. Looking great as ever, looks super fast, unbelievable. But somebody asked Myles Garrett about Aaron Rodgers, thought this was interesting. He said, "I think it's a good opportunity to put him in the graveyard." Everybody knows Myles Garrett throughout Halloween likes to make a makeshift graveyard in his front yard with all the quarterbacks that he has sacked with tombstones. And now he has 2 opportunities this season at the very least to sack Aaron Rodgers and add him to that graveyard, who, by the way, out of nowhere is apparently married.
Yeah, it was kind of funny how, didn't they ask him about it? And they were like, "Oh, when did you get married?" And he was like, "Oh, a couple months ago." I think that was kind of funny, but it's just good that Myles Garrett's back in the headlines, right? It feels like it's been forever since we got to talk about him for something not involving football. So it's good to see him back moving around.
Carlos grand slam Tana, by the way.
He just hit a grand slam?
Wow.
Yeah,
We're up 5-0 in the bottom.
Is the
of
unction jumping?
The unction.
Jose hit with a pitch, then a grand slam right after.
So was
Wow.
it 5-0?
Yes, sir.
Wow,
Look at
go
that.
Guardians.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers hard launched a marriage yesterday, and that's like that doesn't even crack the top 5 crazy things that he's done in the last decade. It's nice to have 95 back, and it seems like, let's call it for what it is. They paid for his loyalty a little bit, but it does seem like he's going to be back to the same Miles that we've been accustomed to. And really, for the fans that want to say, I've seen a little bit online that you see Miles in some of these hype videos that the Browns posted from Media Day, and people are saying that it just doesn't feel the same because of the trade request and because of Radio Row. It'll feel the same when Myles Garrett's sacking quarterbacks this September. Yeah.
Man.
All right, well, we got to take a break. We're going to talk some baseball. Obviously, the Guardians are up right now. That's a good difference than it was yesterday. But, Nick, let's talk some golf before we go to break. Call It Companies Championship next week. Hard to believe it's already here, Nick. We're all going to be there.
Next week, 1 ticket, 2 experiences, CallItGolf.com. When you buy a ticket on CallItGolf.com, you have an opportunity to watch legendary golf, but they also receive complimentary access into the Calling Infinity Zone. It's not a separate ticket. You only need 1 ticket when you visit CallItGolf.com, because the Calling Infinity Zone is the epicenter of all of the off-course fun. Over 50,000 square feet, located at the main entrance and exit of Firestone Country Club. It elevates the fan experience with interactive activities, bar and lounge areas. There's food trucks, celebrity appearances. That's where we'll be at. Once the play on the course ends for the day, the Calling Infinity Zone transforms into a full-fledged music festival with live performances that you won't want to miss. Get your tickets today. CallingGolf.com, June 18th through the 22nd. We'll be out there, fellas.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, are you panicked about our Cleveland Guardians? Kind of sounds weird to say it now that I know they're at 5-0 in the game they're playing right now, but it doesn't erase the past. We'll talk about that when we get back on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson, and our great friends at Fairway Ford. Fairway Ford, Ohio does not come in 2 flavors. Why do I keep doing this, guys? Fairway Ford is the biggest Ford truck dealership. No frills, no bitterness, no fees. Biggest Ford truck dealership in Ohio. They have the largest selection of Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks. They will not be beat on price by any other Ford dealers. You look right up there. Employee pricing for everybody. You pay less than what they pay. That's pre-tariff pricing on all Fords. Over 500 vehicles in stock on their lot right now in Canfield. So don't let that short drive prevent you from saving literally thousands of dollars on your new ride. Fairway Ford, the largest inventory of new Ford trucks, the lowest pricing and same hometown level of service. Scan that QR code right now or go give their website a visit, fairwayfordohio.com. Again, that's fairwayfordohio.com. And we'll actually be doing a live show. We're not going to let that short drive to Canfield prevent us from going live on the Big Factor in Canfield at the end of the month.
June 27th.
June 27th. All right, guys, we're talking some Cleveland Guardians. Last night blanked. Abbott goes 9 innings. You fail to score a run. Slade Ciccone, 8 strikeouts. Looks pretty damn good, but you're not going to win many games if your offense scores you 0. Jack, we're going to talk about a panic meter, but first I want to shout this out for the Cincinnati Reds. Shout out to their admin, who yesterday after Abbott's complete game, they meant to tag Andrew Abbott, but instead they tagged Andrew Tate before the tweet was quickly deleted.
Cobra Tate!
I hope that admin is still employed. That's actually hilarious.
I got the 27th out and then I bought a Bugatti.
Not shout out Andrew Tate. Shout out Andrew Abbott.
Yeah,
who I didn't
no
want to
shout
see
out
go 9
Andrew
innings,
Tate.
but he made the Guardians look like garbage, go 9 innings.
What did Andrew Tate used to call himself?
The top G.
The top
G. The top G.
I mean, how funny is
Because that was my nickname for George Niang for about 2 weeks after that.
At Cobra Tate. That's absolutely hilarious. Jack!
Carlos Santana saw the lineup today and said, boys, I guess I'll do it myself.
Jack, should we be worried?
No, it's way too early in the season to be worried. It's we're about a couple days into June now here. I mean, we talked about the last couple of days, so I'm going to say it over and over again. I'll sound like a broken record, but I'm fine saying it because I think it's true, and I really do believe it. It's the fact that you just played the hardest part of your schedule, and then right after the hardest part of your schedule, we're a team who's traditionally sucked against left-handed pitching for about as long as I can remember, and we still kind of do. And we've run into about 4 lefties in the last 5 days. I think we get one more tomorrow. Or no, sorry, today was the last one. Then we kind of get back into a normal swing after that. Like, you're going to see Manzo back in the lineup more. You're going to see Schneemann back in the lineup more. You're going to see Nolan Jones against the comfortable side of the plate, not against lefties for once. Like, you're going to flip a couple of these guys back around, get them more at bats. Not at all time to be worried. I mean, you just got through your toughest part. I get it. People are going to want to freak out, but there's only so many things that are going to change. So you kind of got to just let these things play out. Like Nick talked about it. Like, would it be nice to see Chase DeLauder soon? Is he getting on base every day? Do you see the same 8 tweets about him hitting a ball 933 miles per hour off the bat, off the wall in AAA? Yeah, that's great. I mean, guys go like, I mean, AAA baseball is AAA baseball. Like, we're going to see the guy soon when he's fully healthy and they make sure he's ready to go and roll. But you just got to bear with it for the time and with what we have and see how we do. I mean, we played a really tough part of the schedule.
So what do you have to say to those who say the Guardian season is all but Jover?
You're an idiot. I mean, it's just that simple. You haven't even seen Shane Bieber out. I know he had a little bit of a setback, but you're going to get Bieber back. There's a chance you're even getting John Means back, so you can bolster a rotation that started to look better already in the last couple of weeks. Really, probably since honestly the start of May, the rotation's been pretty solid in my opinion. And with the lineup, like probably you're going to hope to see one more somewhat major top 5 of the order bat added via the trade deadline, or if it, luckily enough, if it could be like Kafis or DeLauder, that'd be great. But I still got faith in this offense. I mean, Carlos Santana's a guy who it's easy to say right now after a grand slam, but he picks it up as the year gets on. Kyle Manzardo, the league's adjusting back to him. Usually when you get called up for the first couple of times, like there's an adjustment period back and forth on what you can do 3 or 4 times before you just kind of become like who you are, if that makes sense. He's kind of towards the back half of those adjustments. Like we're almost down to getting him into an everyday minimum 750 OPS type bat. So this team's in a good place. They're young outside of Jose, which, I mean, it sucks to remind people about every single year, but there's a lot to build up for. And I don't know. I think they're going to hang in the wild card race. I don't think they win the division, Ryan, but I think this team reminds me a lot of the 2022 team who got into the playoffs.
You know, we just had Cody Allen, former Cleveland Guardians, Indians at the time, closer on the Carlos Baerga show that'll go live tonight. And he was talking about the 2017 year. They were, I think he said they were barely above 500 at the trade deadline. And then what happened? They went on a historic, 22-game win streak?
Yeah, the issue with that team, and it's a great comparison on the surface level of like maybe a good baseball team played kind of 500 ball and then boom, it popped. But that was a team that was severely underperforming outside of Jose Ramirez. Pause. So is this one. But you had Michael Brantley, who was healthy for a little bit, who eventually got going that year. Frankie Lindor wasn't going to start that year. Edwin Encarnacion picked it up. Like that was a team who had so many advanced, like kind of like how we're looking at Nolan Jones baseball savant with all the red right now. Like, oh, when's it going to come? When's it going to come? When's it going to come? Except it was a whole entire baseball team. And then once they got going, boom, and they won 24 games in a row. So like that team was way, way different than this team.
I have a serious question though. This is me learning about baseball still. How often, like, us and how many other teams in baseball just completely fall off when there's lefties on the mound? Like, how normal is it that we're that bad when we're facing the oppo hand pitchers?
It depends because, like, a lot of teams had different schools of thoughts on using platoons. Like, Steven Vogt's a guy who came out and said when he was hired that he doesn't like to use platoons if he doesn't have to, and we've seen a couple of platoons this year. But, like, so some teams, in an ideal world, they have this like platoon because they have these guys who can only hit lefties. Like that's their specialty, almost like a 3-and-D guy off the bench. Like that's what they're good at. Like what David Fry is kind of in a way, you know, like, and will be for this team. Like, so most teams tend to have guys who, when they do these platoons, they're actually pretty damn good against hitting lefties, but our guys haven't really hit the ball yet this year. So, but yeah, it tends to work in your favor. Like, in the past, like, Ryan Rayburn was a really good like platoon bat for us, or Jordan Luplo was for a couple of years after COVID.
All right, Jack, we polled the people. We want to get the fans' input. Can you pull up the results, please?
Ooh.
We asked the people where they stand right now on the Cleveland Guardians if they're worried.
Probably very.
Jack, do you have the results?
1 second. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. So the question was, where is your head at on the guards? We will discuss on today's show at 1 p.m. #guardsball, guys. So all good, which is less than 25% worry. I was in that one. 1% of the votes. So I'm one of the 1%ers for once in my life. Minor tweaks to the roster. That's like 25 to 50%. 23% of people said that.
Did you guys vote?
Big move needed. That is where 52% of the people came in. That's between 50 and 75%. Hope is lost. 25% of the people just shit can the season.
All right. Well, we got quite the varying opinions there from our Cleveland Guardians. I
So
suppose it's not a bad thing.
We're all me, Rob, Ryan, all big move needed. What are we classifying?
What is the big move, though?
Is
That's
calling
what I'm very
calling up
curious about.
Chase DeLauder, CJ Kafis a big move?
No.
That's
That's
in
like
my,
the big
that's
move.
like
well, no, that's in. When I was like writing out and pulling it, I would have put that in the
That's
second
like when-
category from the bottom.
that's like
We
when
need to make a
that's
trade.
like when
tweak.
people say the Cleveland Guardians' big move is getting Shane Bieber back.
Hey, you got to trade. You
Which-
got to bring someone in.
I think is just such a cop
like a big move is someone who is capable of taking this like by himself from being the 25th best offense in baseball to the 15th best offense in baseball. And Chase DeLauder's not going to be that guy. I mean, Chase DeLauder could come up and be awesome, but I don't see a world where he just comes in, boom, right away, changes everything, hits 20 home runs. Like, he's probably going to be an improvement over what you've had in right field, but I don't think he's going to like change the ball game.
All right, well then put me down for big move, and my big move would be Chase DeLauder, CJ Kafis, and then somebody else still. So really 3 big
I
moves.
think it's like kind of how it doesn't have to be a superstar, but like when the Cavs at the time traded for DeAndre Hunter, we were like super solid move.
yeah.
We're bringing in a new guy that's going to contribute. No, he's going to be a big piece of the team. Looking to see the Guardians do something kind of like that.
And you know who it's going to be? It has to be Ozuna from the Braves, guys. That's been the
must
first
have
real
Ozuna.
name to
I
break on
must have
Twitter
Ozuna from the Braves.
as a rumor for a possible guy that would make sense for Cleveland. He's a guy who can hit both sides, so you don't need to platoon him, but he especially matches left-handed pitching. He's got a really funny DUI video, so that'll endear him to the city of Cleveland very quickly.
Where's he
He
play?
wears the neon colors on his sleeve, so he'll fit in with Gabby and Jose. Like,
Atlanta.
guy makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, he's in Atlanta, who they're...
Position.
I'm sorry?
Position.
Right fielder technically, but would more so be suited as a DH probably. But again, we already have 8 first basemen and 9 DHs on the roster, so who really knows what the hell we'd do?
He'd play right field, I think.
Throw him out there.
Yeah, that's a fascinating. I could sign up for Marcell Ozuna.
I mean, he's a 30 home run hitter. I think we could all sign up for him. It's just the whether you're willing to part ways with what it would take to get him. I think you're probably looking at a minimum Parker Messick for starting pitching prospects, and I think he's out of control. So maybe like you could probably get away with like a B-level prospect, I would think, like maybe like a Khalil Watson type.
So are we in win now, or is this still a? Do you?
So
wanna
no.
see
So
the-
no.
that's a great
No. Okay, you don't even have the right headspace on baseball. Okay, we're gonna take this back 45 steps for you. Our goal, and has been since we were alive, is to come up in the green every single year and compete for a playoff spot. That is
So
the
that's not what I'm liking to hear.
okay. Well, that's what it's gonna be from now until you die. So
sure.
get used to it.
So we don't. There is no. Let's go for it in this team.
We
Like,
the closest I would say was after we went to the World Series in 2016. We went out and signed
Jay
Edwin
Bruce.
Encarnacion we traded for him at the deadline. He was an expiring contract. 3 years, $60 million for Edwin Encarnacion, and he was good in Cleveland. He only played 2 years here. We traded him actually for Carlos Santana before the last year of his contract, but like that worked out. But they've gotten burned too often by the Josh Bell, Mike Zunino, Nick Swisher, and Michael Bournes of the world to try too often.
If we
dude sounds
fell
better.
into $700 million, we should just trade for Shohei.
Okay.
That would fuck.
We
That
got
would fuck.
to, but there.
pop
All
out.
we have to do is like. I feel like if we put the 4 of us in a room and figure out how to find $700 million, we could make that happen.
I know we can do it. We are 2 for 2 on NBA playoff parlays as a show.
Yeah, let me get in.
We're
my
doing one for
bag.
Game 3 tonight. We're about to go
Let me-
3 for
let me
3.
open up
Bring
a duel when we get to that segment.
Bring Shohei
The
to
Dolan Eliminator parlay.
Yeah,
That's true.
Like a plus
yeah.
10,000.
We're going to buy.
We're just going
cars.
straight to the horse's mouth on this
Yeah,
one.
according to
We're-
if it hits, there will be no big factor.
there will be no big factor tomorrow or ever again. We'll be on every
the
pregame show.
Beehen crash out parlay time.
Oh, according to Oral Hershiser, if the Cleveland Guardians spent more money, they'd have 3 championships in a row. That was on by
Dom Nunez, today only. 3
take.
home runs.
Hot take from
$5
Oral
will
Hershiser.
win you $85 billion.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, a little Cleveland sports, fill in the blanks, some football, some baseball, some basketball. Jack's got that when we get back on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody. Welcome on back into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network. Ryan Tyler, Jack Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. And I got to tell you about our friends at Garage Beer. This one comes in just 2 flavors, Classic Light Lager as well as that Classic Lime. No frills, no bitterness, none of that IPA taste. It's just beer the way you want it, beer-flavored beer. Scan the QR code or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that's drinkgaragebeer.com. Jack, we're doing a little Cleveland sports.
Can I
Fill in the
pause
blank,
it
if
for
you
a
will.
huge thought first?
No.
Okay, guys, who listened to Tom Hamilton on the radio growing up? Are you guys aware of the Grand Slam inning for the truck?
Yeah.
I think today might have been the first time it ever actually hit
Yeah,
before.
they had to give
Oh,
away
wow.
a car.
Is it the second inning?
Yeah, I think so.
Must have been.
Wow. So somebody's getting a brand new ride?
Somebody's getting a brand new ride, and it's not one of our sponsors, so they probably should just listen to the Big Factor instead to get good
Yeah,
advice.
that's
Yeah,
what
go
I'm
to
saying,
Fairway
man.
Ford.
Go take that short jaunt to Canfield, man.
It is a
And
jaunt. That's
yeah,
exactly what it
yeah.
is.
You
Hop
could
and
have had.
skip.
So, yeah,
Lady
hop, skip, and a
pricing,
jump.
baby.
Yeah, man. You wouldn't have had to wait until June 11th for Carlos Santana to hopefully hit a home run in the second inning. You could have just went to Canfield and gotten a truck.
Go to
His eyes
Fairway.
were closed.
That's easy.
All right, Cleveland sports, fill in the blank. We got 6 for you guys, 2 from each team. That was bad math. Never mind, that was great math. Okay, the Browns' top 3 players in rushing/receiving yards in order this year will be blank, blank, and blank.
Wait, this is combined.
So
Or-
you're
So
saying,
you can mix mash of receivers and running backs and tight ends
But
essentially.
total yards.
But they're all-purpose
so, like,
yards,
say
yes.
someone ran for 1,200 and then our
And-
receiver was 900. That type order.
Yes,
Got you,
exactly.
got you, got you.
Okay, can I start?
You go first.
Right, Ryan, I'd be honored if you did.
Okay, I will go, and this is off top of the dome, baby. I'll go. Jerry Jeudy finishes first with. I'll go 1,100 yards. 1,100 yards. I'll go Quinshawn Judkins second. Can I get an 1,000-yard rushing season from Quinshawn Judkins?
In a rookie year.
I
that'd
think
be
he's going to have
awesome.
that carries to do it. I really think the volume's going to be there for Quinshawn. I'm not sure how much you really want to roll out Jerome Ford anymore. And Dylan Sampson, I'm not sure he's going to eat into that workload that much. I'll go Quinshawn Judkins 1,000 yards. I know it's maybe, but listen, pretty sure Tyler Algier almost had 1,000 yards, so I'll take it. And then I'll go. This one will be tough. I'll go. I don't know. David Njoku 800 yards.
So mine. Here we go. I was gonna take Judkins at 1.
Yeah.
I think
feeling the
if he's
Judkins.
healthy, I think he's gonna get a. I don't think
I'm
we're gonna
saying.
throw.
Yeah,
much.
because here's the
He
thing.
could get 20 carries a game.
Yeah, like I think it could be like 1,200 with
Here's-
the extra game.
Yes, I'm saying. I'm
Here's
glad
the
you're-
thing. Judy put up 1,229 yards
How
last
much
year.
of that was James?
How much of it was
That's what I'm
James?
saying. How much was that Denver game?
Yeah.
I was gonna throw in Njoku 2, Judy 3. I think that's mine right there. How about you,
I'm
Nick?
trying to find the game logs.
Fuck the game logs. This is
All right,
all-
Oh, I
someone's
gotta
got-
vote.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go Judkins as well.
Yeah.
Judkins 1.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go Judy 1, just makes the most sense. 2, we're going to go Cedric Tillman. I don't love the narrative, but we're just
Yeah.
going to throw it in there.
Yeah, that's
Well, you never know.
people are clicking off.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's a guess. In 3rd, yeah, you got a running back, Judkins.
I seriously think Njoku.
I think him and Samson are going to split a ton, though. I could see them both having, like,
I don't really think they will.
really?
Dude, Samson's small.
So the Denver game, Jerry Judy had 235 yards.
235?
Like you
How
drafted
many did
Quin-
Taysom Hill have against
You
them?
You
drafted
take
Quinshawn
you
in
take
the
out the
second.
you take out the Denver game,
Does he even touch a
and
1,000?
Judy doesn't even touch
That's
1,000.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
He balled out, bro. I don't know. I think Njoku could really be lead guy, but that's because I still think Flacco's our QB. But that's I
It's
might be
Judkins.
It's
delusional.
it's super hinging on who the
It's
quarterback
Judkins.
is.
I'm drafting Judkins in the first round of my fantasy
I
league
think he'll
this year.
be a toter of the ball.
That's a
But
bit of a stretch.
Samson will pop some big runs on 3rd down and in spells.
I agree.
after
I think really every first, second down opportunity is going to be Quinshawn Judkins.
I agree.
All right, guys.
Judy put up 142 against the Saints as well.
And that was tough.
Blank Guardians will finish this year with 15 home runs.
Cleveland Guardians as a team will have 15.
Um,
All right, next question.
4. I'll go Jose, Carlos.
Let me look at this.
Is Quan going to get there?
He's at what, like 11, I think?
Yeah. So Bo's about to get there.
Bo is 9. Yeah, Bo's going to get there.
So maybe 5.
You're forgetting the Schneeman? The
Oh,
Schneeman?
no.
Are you forgetting Daniel
Now, I
Schneeman?
think he omitted him, actually.
How many does Austin Hedges need? 15 more?
No, he has like 3 weirdly or so. He had like 2 home runs in the first like 5 games.
Well, there you go.
His OPS actually isn't like dog awful just because of the amount of like home runs and doubles he's hitting a few at bats. Okay.
I'm saying six.
Manzo is going to get there. Jose is going to get there. Kwan's going to get there. Bo's going to get there. Do we have a wild card? What do we
Add
think?
Schneemann and Quan, bro. Schneemann.
We'll go Kwan. We're going to go 6. Why not?
CJ Kafis.
No, but someone's going to get there.
Chase
Just
the
someone's
water.
gonna
Chase
get
the
there.
Comes up after the All-Star break and just starts.
What if Rokio comes back and is just like,
What
you know
if-
what?
what
You
if-
see what I've been doing in
what-
Columbus, fellas?
What if Tyler Naquin becomes Shohei?
Big Christmas is back from Columbus and
If
just starts
Big
smoking them.
Christmas
Yeah, you never
Big
specified
Christmas
which
starts
which
more
farm
than
system.
Oscar
Or which
Gonzalez.
30 more
which
games
year,
in Cleveland, the
or
season's
which
over.
year, maybe 2030 it'll be Ralphie Velasquez and
Yeah.
Travis Mazzana.
Jose Ramirez Jr. All right. The Cavs, so in light of the news that Darius Garland will most likely be missing the first 10 games of the NBA regular season, he's returning to basketball activities, I believe, in 5 months from now.
Okay.
The Cavs' top 3 guards on opening night will be blank, blank, and blank.
Holy, bro.
Donovan, Craig Porter.
So you're buying into CPJ.
You're saying as in like ones and
Strus.
twos? Like point guards and shooting guards?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that 3 right there.
Struce, Donovan.
It'll be CPJ
and
off the
CPJ.
bench. Yeah.
Retweet.
Okay, I was counting him as a small forward.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
never
know.
mind then. So he just
I
gets
don't know
pushed
who
back
else
to
I would
guard.
pick.
Okay.
We're just going to be running Donovan at the 1 and then bringing Porter off the bench. Has to be the lineup for those first couple games.
All right. Shadur Sanders not getting a rep with the starters is blank.
It is kind of BS. It's a little bush league just because they do have a game plan, which I like, and I like that he's taking the 4th string reps because that's gonna give him the most volume. But come training camp time, if this is truly an honest quarterback competition, I need to see Shador with the 1s because with my own 2 eyes, I need to see if Shador right now, present day, is better than Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel. And if he is, he should be the week 1 starter. So right now it's fine because they're just learning. But if this becomes a trend, you got to ask what's going on because are we really trying to put our best players on the field?
My
at that
word
point?
for it would be sneaky. Because I think they're using this as a way to kind of possibly, it could be for the better or the worse. Maybe they really have the right intentions and they just want him to get his reps. But I could also see it being that, oh, we took him, he's here, but then, he was just always with the 4s and we just ship him out at some point. So I would say right now it's sneaky. They definitely have something up their sleeve.
I will go Shador not getting a first team rep I'll go calculated. I think that there's a good chance that there's a reason he didn't get any first reps. I mean, when you're talking about these are just the practices that the media is open to. There are closed ones where we don't know how the reps are split. You got Joe Flacco, a guy who brought you to the playoffs a few years ago. You got Kenny Pickett, the guy you traded for a vet, although I know he hasn't had much success. And then don't forget you have Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback you drafted 2 rounds ahead of him. In fact, traded up to get him, a guy that you made known this was a quarterback you wanted out of the draft. I'm not sure it does any good for Shador to have the media filming every single rep he takes with the 1s. Because if he looks good, I think there will be inherent pressure on the Browns, even though there shouldn't be, to possibly start him earlier than they should. And then also, again, remember, this is just 7 and 7s, 11 on 11s. There's no pass rush. Even if Shador Sanders looks great, yes, the media will be pushing for him because he's a fun player and he gets clicks, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go out week 1, or even when we get to real training camp, he's going to look good. So I don't think there's anything to really read into it. And in fact, I think maybe it's a calculated move.
That's where my head was too. I was gonna say circus diffusing, kind of use that as a one-word little push in together.
A little dash in
I
there.
just think the millisecond.
It's not legendary. That's what it is.
It's not legendary. That is also true. But the millisecond you get him out there and put him in any form of a serious quarterback competition, like that's the only thing you're gonna be able to talk about in Cleveland for the next couple of months. Like it's smart, like you said, to kind of like keep him under the radar. Like I think going back to like when Johnny Manziel was here, and the year when Brian Hoyer started out like 7 and 5 or whatever it was, or they got off to a hot start before he got hurt, and people were calling for Johnny Manziel. Like when you make it a quarterback battle from day one and say like, okay, this guy has a credible, real chance right now to be a starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Like that circus didn't stop up until he took over. Like you don't want that kind of a thing. Like it's not bad to have like okay, he's not starting. He's not starting right now. Just so you understand, he's not starting right now. Let's not talk about it. We'll hit on it again in a few months. I kind of like not having that pressure on him, like you echoed a bit.
7-1 now, by the way. Manzo.
Yeah, Manzo.
RBI double.
We also are getting quotes from Browns minicamp, and it's the riveting things that people really want coverage on. Browns quarterback Joe Flacco on TikTok dances. The fact that people want to get on their phone and show people, that's embarrassing. You're an adult. Be an adult. I can't wrap my head around that.
Flacco said
Wow.
that?
Yeah,
He's
Flacco.
so
And me,
funny, bro.
hey, I probably wouldn't throw 2 pick sixes in a playoff game if I had the chance,
Talk
but
to
that
him.
happens.
Speak
Easy
to
now.
him. Converse with him.
Okay, Jared Allen being a Cavalier on opening night is blank.
Unacceptable.
Malpractice.
A war crime.
So many words. Just next. I'm not talking about him. Bro.
Okay. The guards will finish blank in the AL Central and make/not make the playoffs.
Second, and they're making it.
I'll go third, and they're not going to make it.
Wild card, baby. Sign me up.
I'm going third. Wild card somehow. I don't
Jack,
know. Is that even
imagine-
possible?
Second, and we make it is the ball nowhere call. That's what's going to happen. That is correct.
I haven't seen a
I've
scenario.
actually answered correct.
I
You're
haven't
right.
looked at like the playoff scenarios because it's the first week of June still, but there is a world.
Don't
there-
for 2 more months.
I know that there's a universe out there. Here's what I do know, where we get a first round rematch where the Detroit Tigers win the division, the Cleveland Guardians get a wild card spot. The Guardians have to go to Detroit, who would have home field advantage for that first round wild card series, and Cleveland proves that they're still better than the Detroit Tigers and beats them in the playoffs again to advance in the postseason. That's how this Guardian season's going to go. I got the script.
Or
I do have
Struble
bad-
shoves
It's
9
possible.
innings of good
It
ball
would have
down
to
our
be.
throats.
So they would have to fall off because I think the first 2
Yeah,
get
they
a
have-
bye.
yeah.
So we would need them to fall off a little bit, which I don't think that's crazy to
that's
put it past the
possible.
Detroit Tigers to fall off a little bit.
Correct.
You nab the top wild card spot, and then you get the third wild card spot, so you sneak in third in the division, like Rob said earlier. Boom, we get it. How does Lane Thomas hit a grand slam at Comerica this time?
Could you imagine that? The scenario to play out, you really just need like the Yankees or one of these teams to really
And
catch
you
fire.
can smell Scooble
much
going
coke
back
over
to shit
there.
in the playoffs a mile away. I mean that's
Bro,
coming.
they're talking
You
about-
are chugging.
They're talking about
you are
Cy Young,
chugging
bro.
guards ball Kool-Aid.
Why not? We're up 7-1. Have some fun. It's 85 degrees outside. and Your
Cy
baseball
Young.
team is in a playoff spot. Have fun.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the Kool-Aid man to jump through this brick wall.
Oh, he's coming, baby. Oh, yeah.
in the free Emmanuel Clase jersey.
Yes.
All right, guys, we got to take a break. When we get back, we'll wrap up the big factor here in afternoon edition. Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight. The series flips to Indiana. We are 2 for 2 on finals parlays, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to try and make that 3 for 3. Make everybody some money. Everybody likes making money. We'll do that when we get back on the big factor.
Yeah.
The Twitter streets are alleging that Oral Hershiser does not know ball.
Yeah, come on, free oral.
Free oral.
He ain't do nothing wrong.
Free
Spend a little
oral.
money. We could have 3 World Series.
Yeah, come on now. Don't hate on
Come
Oral.
on, Dick.
Well, guys, Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tonight, 8:30 p.m. tip-off on ABC. The series shifts to Indiana. Pacers look to take the lead 2-1. It is in their home court, but OKC, if anything, it's like Game 2. This is going to be a routing. Rob, you talked about the Pacers. Game 1, it's an adjustment period for teams to that tempo, that high-octane offense, the historic shooting. Thunder bounced back in Game 2, shut them down defensively again. Is that what we're going to see in Game 3 as the series shifts to Indiana?
I'm sticking with what I said, guys. Thunder in 5. It's over. They had the magic moment. Tyrese, he had the moment. His little shot. The Thunder understand it now, guys. It's not happening for the Pacers. We knew they were overmatched. They had a Linsanity run. They got here. It's great, but the Thunder are just too much. And regardless, I'm sure the Pacers are going to really start off strong tonight. We could even see like a big lead for them. But I could even see it being the scenario where the Thunder make a comeback tonight, and we see the Pacers finally have some of their own medicine come back and bite them. I think the Thunder will win. Maybe even in an overtime, it could be a nice game.
Drop me a
tonight.
score prediction so I can retire.
Let me give you like a
One night only.
118 to like 112 in overtime type deal.
Oh, wow.
Overtime. Oh shit. Okay.
I think. Like,
Are any of you Kool-Aid Guardians drinkers drinking the Pacers Kool-Aid?
No.
No, but I have my leg ready for the parlay if we're doing that.
All right. I guess we'll get to it.
do
So we're trying to go 3 for 3 on
what you
parlays,
like,
right?
Nick?
All right, so Rob, are we saying OKC money line then?
Yes, I would throw that.
We want to include money line.
That's minus
They're
218.
OTR, right?
They're minus 218.
Yeah.
I would give you that.
That's not
and
bad.
No,
the
take it. That's
Shea,
fine. Yeah.
Shea 30 ball. That's
Shea
another
30
like
ball.
minus
I like
200.
Score 30 Shea. So that's right now we're at minus
Put
114.
a pacer in there.
I got
What's Obi Toppin's?
Are we all doing a leg? How are
Yeah,
we
we're all doing a leg.
All right,
Everyone's
so
doing a
There
leg.
you
So
go.
Rob's. So we'll just do
Because we all think OKC is going to win.
Right,
So
so
that's
Rob-
the
that's
group
the-
leg.
that's
Rob's
the
is shy
umbrella.
30
Shy
plus.
30.
Okay.
Okay, that brings us to minus 114.
Give me some Alex Caruso
Dude, I'm
rebounds.
topping
Okay.
10 points is good. Is probably
Alex,
like plus.
I was gonna
Alex,
say-
Alex Caruso's getting 3 boards.
He's low key a grinder. What's the steals?
Can you
for
do
him and
3? I only
Dort?
see 4 plus.
Minus 205.
What
Oh,
is
is that
what
his-
are
is
him
that
and
his
Dort
over-under?
for 2 steals? Caruso or Dort?
I see it.
I just can't bet
So
steals.
we're going Alex Caruso.
3 rebounds.
3 boards? I like that. That's like the Struce when I had Struce for 6
Six
boards
re-
and y'all were looking at me crazy.
Well, I only see 4. Where am I looking at?
I'm probably on a different app than you, bro.
Oh, okay.
I can't plug what app
So
I'm on.
Thunder money line, Shea
Like
30,
Jack.
Caruso with the boards.
Okay, so we have Caruso with boards, and then Jack, we need mine and yours leg.
I'm gonna go. He's been a little bit quiet this year. So give me Chet to have 15.
Oh, that's risky.
We need
That's
it.
minus
though.
120.
Fuck.
They need
All right,
it.
I'll give us something super safe, a lock. First basket. I'm just kidding.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
go. Oh, I'll be safer.
I can only get 4
Pascal
boards.
Siakam, 15 points. That's minus 400.
Is that safe?
That's pretty safe.
I can't even get the Caruso board. Oh, no,
So
I
Nick,
can only get 4.
Do you have it all together for us?
I do.
Let me
Can you
get
lay out the parlay?
All right, so we got Thunder money line.
Yes.
We've got Pascal Siakam 15 plus points.
Yes.
We got Chet Holmgren 15 plus points.
Shaky.
We got SGA 30 plus points.
Cash it.
And we got 3 Alex Caruso rebounds.
If you're on the duel, you have to take 4.
Plus $520 pays 120.
We might buy the guards, fellas.
There we go. Let's
Watch
keep
out,
it
David
going.
Blitzer. We're buying the
One
guards.
step
And
at a
if you
time.
don't think we know ball, go back on those episodes. We haven't missed yet. Trust.
All right, game
for
3
two.
of the NBA Finals tonight. We'll put out our parlay. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Appreciate Fairway 4, appreciate Garage. But remember, Call It Company's Championship next week. We will be
So
there.
fired up.
Go get your tickets. Callgolf.com. It's 1 ticket, 2 experiences. You get to watch golf. You get a party afterwards and meet so many awesome people. We'll all be there. No, we're not some of the awesome people, but I promise other people will be there.
Still come say
It is
hi.
so real quick. We can do this on air. I think it's hilarious during the colleague read when we say like just because like we're doing like a radio show like so it's like oh like it'll be cool people and we'll be there too. Like I just love like the dash and we'll be there.
And nobody will recognize me. That's it for the
But
Pick
we'll be
Factor.
there, too.
Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Same people, not the same time because we'll be back in our normal time slot tomorrow, 10 a.m. to recap Game 3 of the NBA Finals to see what the Guardians do if they can finish off the Reds and more. All right, peace out. We'll see you.